Hey, everybody. Hey, Susie. Just chilling. Country girl. Miss Eve. Dino. Hey, everybody. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm glad y'all came by. I'm gonna drop my link because I want this to be an open conversation. Okay, good. Thank you, Dino. There we go. Dino, you are more than welcome to come up at any time. I wanted to talk about a sensitive topic, but I think it's an important one. Uh, I never knew how many people suffered from addiction until actually I got on YouTube. Hey, Landon. Hey, New Orleans lady. Hey, cracking asses. Hey, honey. All my honeys are here. Been a minute. Oh, thank you, Kraken. Thank you so much. I really didn't know how many, creators even that have a story about addiction or currently suffer from addiction. Yep. Yeah. Plain goofy. So I'm pretty sure there's people in this chat that know about addiction, probably have someone close to them that maybe suffer from addictions or maybe a recovering addict. I'm so very proud of the recovering addicts. I know it's hard. I know you have triggers everywhere you go, and I'm pretty sure it's a daily struggle. Okay. Dino's on her way up shortly. So I guess I'm gonna get into it. I'm so glad you guys are here. I appreciate you so much. So a lot of people don't know this or don't agree with it, but addiction can and is genetic. If you deep dive into genetics of addiction, you're going to learn that in general, genes are thought to account for half of a person's risk to being an addict. That's with alcohol. Hey, Nana. Thank you for coming. Thank you. And it's even higher for other addictions like pills and other drugs. I didn't know that, and it makes me even feel worse for the addicts. With behaviors of addicts, what I have witnessed, what I have seen is that they always have an emergency. You guys know someone like that? They always have an emergency. Maybe they can't pay a bill, their rent is late, they're facing repossession of a vehicle, they're out of groceries, they need medical attention right now. There's always an excuse for why they're broke. Addicts are liars. They can't be trusted, especially with money. And if you live with an addict, you know they're always on the go. They always got to go to the store. That's what one told me today. one person told me today that that's a common thing with an addict, and, I appreciate her honesty. They always have to go to the store for something. They, their friend needs help. They've had car trouble. They're mass manipulators. Things come up missing around these people. Things, especially money. One of the first things that you'll notice sometimes, especially if you don't see this person often, but you'll notice a drastic physical change. One of the first things I noticed was weight loss, like a significant amount. Not someone who is cutting back, but y'all, it's a drastic change. Yes, just chilling. Their whole life is based on a lie. It's true. They're very unkempt and disheveled, almost like they've just completely let themselves go or they haven't slept in a very long time. And if you don't give them what they want, they throw full-grown tantrums, possibly do or say hurtful things, give you guilt trips. This recently just happened, like like this week. Amen. Yeah, you can live how you want to, but don't be no junkie around me either, just chilling. I appreciate that. Hey, Dino, I'm telling him about something that just like really just happened. Listen to this. You're not gonna believe it. It's a true story.
Okay.
So, I get a text from someone and they need money, $50 to be exact. This person never ever contacts us. Never, ever. And of course, I don't have any cash on me, but if they need gas or groceries, I can go to the store and use my debit card, right? They needed cash money.
Of course
Well,
so.
come to find out, what happened was the person they live with, they're actually a caregiver for. The caregiver, they're the caregiver, so they are like responsible for all the things. This is an elderly lady that this person looks after. Their mama, to be exact. She had done given him money that she didn't even have the day before for cigarettes or something, right? Well, now he needs $50 for cigarettes again. And of course, she didn't have it. And so he threatens to leave. Matter of fact, he does leave. He leaves the house and says, well, I'm gone then. Find somebody else to take care of you. Stays gone for a while. And of course, she can't do anything. She's literally bedridden. She can't do nothing. Her sitter is gone for the day. There's not another one coming. And she's just left there scared.
Wow.
So when the person comes back, of course, she gives her last $3 that she had to her name before she gets, her next bunnies.
That's sad.
That is absolutely disgusting, but that's the behaviors of an addict.
Can you hear me?
How do you feel about that, Donna?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Um. Well, I've done that before. So, I was a totally different person than what I am now, and I was a really
Mhm,
good person before I started drugs.
mhm.
And I never thought I would be that way, even when I did drugs. And then I got so desperate that I would steal from people. I lied to people and made up these elaborate stories and promised them the moon and never fulfilled that promise. Um, Took advantage of an old lady. We had a relationship before, and then we kind of started taking advantage of each other. Like she needed the money and I needed the pills, so that's kind of how it was. And then she would raise the prices, and I would pay those prices. I worked at the post office. Um,
Yeah.
and we took advantage of each other. And I to this day, she died, and I to this day I don't think she. No, she didn't know I was sober before she passed. But um, I just I ruined her elder years by doing that to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hurt her. You know, and I can't say I'm sorry now. But you have to come to terms with it. That's all the steps. You know, when you're an addict, you have steps to do.
Yes, I was gonna get to that part about the forgiveness, because that's an important thing for someone who is in recovery, is forgiveness to yourself.
That's the number one thing.
It is, and I'm
You have
proud of
to.
you.
You have to. Oh, thank you, thank you. There's many of us here that have recovered. You
Yeah.
know, there's many of us that have relapsed.
Mhm.
There's many of us that have relapsed and then recovered again. It can be done.
It can be.
If it can happen the first time, it can happen the second time.
That's right.
And if you knew
Well,
what
let
you
me
were,
ask you this. Whenever you were working, one of the behaviors that I've witnessed and I've learned is as far as their employment goes. Sometimes, they lose their jobs because they call out so much or they're habitually late. They have a tardiness issue. Um, and they seem to not be able to stay employed for a very long period of time. And these are good jobs. These are not, these are
right?
hard to get jobs that they get. Um, just out of curiosity, did you have a tardiness issue with where you worked? Did you have these elaborate stories while you weren't there? Or
Um, no, at first. At first, I
okay.
was a functioning addict. Um, so I never was late. I always took care of my kids. Had dinner on the table at 5 o'clock. Um, I was super mom on. I was super mom when I was using the, the number 3849 pill. How do I still remember the numbers on that pill? I don't. It's beyond me, but I do. Um, and I felt like I was super mom, yeah, and it made me feel that way. It did. Some people don't make them feel that way. It made me feel that way, and I got high off of it, and I enjoyed it. It made me clean. It made me clean more. Um, I felt like I was more attentive. All the things. So it was like a high at first, and then it got to
Mhm,
where it got to I would take it every day, and if I didn't have it, that's when you
mhm,
start getting sick, and that's when the tardiness starts. Yeah, so for a while there, I was functioning, and then it got to where if I did not have that, I was going to go through withdrawals and be sick. And so, in order for me just to be normal and not be sick and not go through that, I had to have my medicine. I had to have my medicine. And so then I was spending money. I couldn't get high no more. I didn't get high no more. And, I just wanted to get high. I wasn't high. I was just being mean, normal, just to even to be mean. I had to take a pill before I even get my feet off the floor. So I had to make sure it was a
yeah,
vicious cycle. I had to make sure the night before that I had pills for the next day so I could wake up. And then if I ran out, if I didn't have it or whatever, I would take a lunch and leave from my place of business, which I shouldn't have. Never. They know they don't let you. They're not. You're not supposed to leave. I would leave and drive to
mhm,
a whole other city to get my stuff, and then come back to work, and they didn't even know I was gone. I don't understand how that happened, but it did. I got away with a lot of stuff. There's so many things that God has saved me from. Oh,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it got to
mhm.
where I was late all the time. I would call in sick. Um, all that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you mentioned your family and stuff. Unfortunately, whenever a person's an addict, just like, my thumbnail said, it's not a spectator sport. Eventually the whole family has to participate, and addiction affects more than just the addict, but the whole entire family. Um,
Just like an illness or
it
someone going through like dementia or something.
it is an illness. It's a mental illness.
Yeah, it's a
It's
sickness.
a it's a brain disorder. I
That's
mean,
why
like, it
that's why the
causes
insurance
all
covers
these
it.
things. Mhm. It's a mental illness. A lot of people don't like to think that, but the effects it has on the brain makes it that way. Loving someone who is an addict. is extremely painful, and it's disappointing. I know that you know, you've all heard just most recently, I heard a flat out lie on here, from obvious an addict. You wanna believe them. It hurts to have doubt in the back of your mind. You wanna help them. You don't want them to struggle, especially financially, especially if it involves a child or children. It feels good to be able to help.
But you can help in other ways, though. You don't have to help with
Yeah, you
money.
can.
You just know how to give cash. Buy them go buy them the food, or meet them at the
Right,
gas
like I
station.
offered.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, like I offered. Um, whenever you love an addict, you find yourself making excuses for them. You ignore it or completely just avoid it, and you bail them out of every single thing that they have created for themselves. Unfortunately, that only enables them, and the addict continuously goes down a downward spiral because you're not doing anything to make them stop. You're actually helping them. When you love an addict, you give money that you can't afford. You say you say yes when you should say no.
Because you don't want to see them hurting. See, that's the thing.
You don't
Us
wanna see them hurting.
addicts, they know. Okay, most addicts that with when you're dealing with mother and child, um, the child will I don't want to hurt. I don't want to go through withdrawals. I will be sick. I
Yeah,
can't be sick. Please, mom,
they don't wanna see it.
please, mom, don't make me be sick. And then no, no, I told you no, I don't have the money. Please, mom, please. And then it
I'm gonna
just
be
comes to
sick.
desperation. I'm gonna be sick and crying and the hurt, the pain, and then it goes to them. They can't help it. They cannot help it. They know it's wrong. They know they shouldn't do
Yeah.
it. They know they shouldn't do it. But that power that drug has on somebody
I
is
it's amazing how much control something so tiny can have over an entire person.
that's
Another
why people
thing
get people that's why pimps get their hoes addicted to drugs. That, right there, control.
that's awesome, farm. A little over 4.5 years sober from drugs and alcohol. That
Wow.
is
See,
amazing.
did you ever think that you would ever say that? I never thought I would ever be able to say that.
I'm
you know
proud of you, farm.
so
I'm proud of you too, Donna, and I tell you all the time.
I
But
know you
one
do.
thing about loving an addict is that you always are afraid to answer that midnight phone call, that call that comes in the middle of the night. You're terrified to answer it. You dread seeing them, but you want to at the same time. You may not like them anymore, but that will never stop you from loving them or being concerned or scared. That will never change. What I will say is this: it will be a long, excruciating road before you realize that there's nothing you can do to save this person. You're exhausted, you're heartbroken, you're at your weakest. Your world is falling apart, truly falling apart from the pain of seeing their self-destruction. That's when you'll see you can't live like that anymore. You can't ride shotgun in a car with an addict down this road this path of self-destruction. You just cannot do it. You just can't. And that is where boundaries are so important, and I'm pretty sure you've had to deal with these. Um, Being patient and loving someone is one thing, but at some point, you have to be responsible for yourself. You have to put a stop to the behavior. You are being disrespected, you're being lied to, you're being used. That's where tough love comes in, and that's what we're discussing now. It is absolutely sometimes impossible to say no because literally sometimes, especially if it's alcohol, this person could die. It's a true statement. People
that
coming off of
that
alcohol, I've
that
known to
right
die.
there. Yeah, that right there is a tricky one because
Yeah, they
um
can die.
they can die, and so if they don't have their drink, they will die. I mean,
It's a
and
true
then
statement.
then you're that's walking a fine line. I don't even really know. Hang on. Hang on. Sorry.
Like,
I don't
whenever
really
I
know how
had
you
a
would work
client
that.
that would go into like, into rehab, we literally would have a script for them to have a beer every so many hours or they would die. That's where they were at when I got a hold of them,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't
Yeah.
let them go back.
You can
They didn't
seize
believe
out.
in
You can have a
themselves.
seizure.
You can your heart
Yeah.
will explode, you'll die.
It's crazy.
They seize out, they have a heart attack. I mean, it's over. I mean, they have to have it. They have it's
I can't
absolutely the
believe I'm
worst thing
still
to watch.
alive. I cannot believe I'm still alive. What in the actual?
Well,
You
I'm
know
gonna
what?
get you why you're still
That's
here. You're gonna
craziness.
see. You're gonna see why you're still here. I got something for you, honey. Uh,
Honey. No,
but,
I'm getting better at saying it. So, honey.
honey, um,
Honey.
a person will feel guilty, like we said, for not helping, but you're not helping. You're actually hurting them. Boundaries, setting up boundaries. Bad things happen to good people. This does not discriminate. You have done absolutely nothing wrong, and, for this to happen. A person that's having to deal with an addict, the family part. You have to watch your attitude toward it, though. You have to watch your attitude toward the situation because if you dwell too much on the situation, that will be bigger than the faith that you have. You have got to have a higher power, something to help you get through this because this is absolutely devastating, especially for a parent to witness or a sibling or a spouse to witness for someone that has completely morphed before your eyes and you don't even know who they are anymore. And they don't even know who they are anymore. They don't even know where they're at. It's a hot mess. But there is life after addiction. I know you're a perfect example. There is a purpose behind your pain. I know that you have triggers, people, places, money, friends, friends that aren't friends that you stay away from, places you don't go, things you don't participate in. You stay away from those places and people. That takes a lot of strength, a lot of discipline. You declared that being an addict was not going to be your truth, and you have lived up to that, and that is hard. Very courageous. A lot of people say they can't control it. Well, they're planting a seed of a defeat before they even try.
That's that's the thing right there. Like so many people do that. You can't. You can
You
speak that stuff into existence when you say that crap.
yeah. You have to say, you have got to believe that you are free from addiction. You have to believe it before you're capable of it
Yep.
and you feel worthy of it.
Yep.
You have got to change your habits.
Yep.
It's gonna be lonely. Oh, it's
Yep.
gonna be so lonely. It's
But
gonna be
then you guess
hard.
what you'll do at the end, even though it's lonely, at the end you're gonna enjoy yourself and you're gonna enjoy the loneliness and you're gonna enjoy the
Mhm.
quiet and
The quiet,
you're gonna enjoy being you and just sitting with you when you never could
drama
sit with you
free.
when you never could sit with you by yourself.
Oh,
See?
you had to get lost somehow,
Yep.
some way,
Yep.
escape something. So there is there is purpose behind your pain, Donna. As soon as you feel completely healed, you're able to go and help heal someone else that's struggling. I can't imagine the path that you have had to go down to get where you're at now. But one thing I wish for you is this. I'm trying not to cry. It's so hard. I wish that you would forgive yourself. Accept your past. It's part of the reason why I think that you struggle sometimes. Forgive yourself. You've made amends. You've righted the wrongs that you could. You don't recognize your progress enough. I will remind you every day if I have to. You make me proud. I want you to Practice self-love, self-compassion, gratitude. Be patient with you. It takes time to love yourself after something that took so much from you, but you've gotta forgive yourself. I know that you have learned so many things from your experiences that you've dealt with, and you see things like a newborn child. Everything's brighter, everything's different. You learn no matter how old you get. Forgiveness is something I wish for you to do because you make so many of us proud.
Quit! You're gonna make me cry. You better stop. Stop. Stop.
It's true. You're a perfect example of what someone could be that's struggling. You've been to hell and back, lost the T-shirt. There is hope for anyone out there that is struggling with addiction. There's help out there.
There's a creator on YouTube that just had her baby, and she's on a ventilator. I don't know what happened. The baby's in the NICU. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. She was using the whole time she was pregnant.
Mm,
The whole time. The problems with everything that we see in this world are directly related to drugs.
yeah,
The
yeah,
craziness. You can't believe what you're hearing about these people and what they're doing to people, right? How come
mm,
they're acting like animals? What is going on? And I'm telling you, it's the drugs. People try to
yeah,
escape. They don't want to face, they don't know how. They don't know how to face problems. And this is where education comes in. Because if you don't know how to face your problems and you don't know how to work on things in a healthy way, you just run. It's easier to run. It's easier to hide from all that
yeah,
stuff.
and blame someone else.
Well,
The
yeah.
shift blame shifting, yeah,
But you've got to be grown enough to know that if you want it, it takes that first step. All it takes is the first step. And the first step is the hardest step.
yeah, and so many never try,
No,
and then
they
there's
don't.
so
They're like,
many that never get the
oh,
chance.
I can't do that. They automatically just give up before they even start, you know. But listen,
They
if your
plant
wife,
that seed of defeat that they can't control it. "Oh, I can't control it, I can't." You're planting a seed of defeat before you even try.
yep,
There is
I-
help. It's
it's,
hard.
it's very hard. But in what I think a lot of us realize and know that that takes time and a lot of time to be so
Yes, it does.
disciplined.
Takes a very long
And
time.
so
It's
it's
not easy.
you're thinking to yourself, how am I going to even be able to do this, man? That's such a long time. Why the hell are you thinking that far in advance? I'd like to know. Why
Yeah,
don't you worry about today and what's going on about what's going on today? And let me tell you, if you stop worrying about what goes on tomorrow, then today's going to be great. If you
you
just quit
take a
doing that.
craving at a time, an hour at a time. You have to be patient, but so many never try. Sometimes it takes several times to get it right. Sometimes it takes more than one time to go to rehab to get it kicked completely. Sometimes you have 2 things going on, and you need help from 2 different ways. Dual diagnosis is much of the battle. Sometimes they have drug and alcohol. Then a lot of it turns into, different mental disorders.
That's the
Y
problem. That's the thing is
Mhm,
they have to deep root. They have to find out where this is coming from. And I'm going to tell you
mhm.
something right now. Every single one of you, I think maybe, and some of you are thinking, "There's no way. There's nothing in my past that's you." Believe it or not, there is, and you just don't realize it.
How
You
long
don't
you been
realize
clean? Nana wants to know.
how 3.5 years. It'll be 4/5/20. It was my is my date. So in April it'll be 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. And
Yeah.
I never even thought I could make it a day. It went from one day to a week to a month. I was away from my family. I was a married woman away from her daughter and her husband for over a year in Florida, way on the other side of the country.
Mhm. And now look at you.
Hmm.
You are under the same roof, sober. with the same husband and the same baby.
And I never thought that was ever possible. Never,
No, but it
never.
is. And for anyone listening, it is possible. It is.
It's never too bad, too late. That's the thing. I don't care if you're in the situation of a certain couple of creators on this app. There's a couple of them that could seem like it's rock bottom.
Yeah.
And if it is rock bottom, can I just say, can I just get this out instead of like jumping around it?
Go ahead.
Like about a couple on YouTube.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Is that okay?
it's a big concern. I know who you're talking about. Mhm. I think everyone does.
Can I talk to him directly
Sure.
off your live off this on this live?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Okay, this is for Cam and Allie. Cam and Allie. Cam, you're going through it. I know you're going through it. You've done it before. Get off your ass. Control it. Do what you have to do. Use the tools that are in your toolbox that I know you know about. Go back to meetings. Quit making fucking excuses. Quit it. And get it done. Then, now, you have to help your wife because you have gotten her addicted. You are responsible for that. And that's why you are even worse off. Wait, I think you're worse off than what we know.
I pray for that family. I
I do
pray
too.
for
I do
them.
too. I do too. It was sad, but the thing about it is, you weren't hiding it. You really sucked at hiding it. And you knew what you were doing. And okay, how does that make you feel? Like, so when it happened, when it first happened, I think maybe what happened was when it first happened, then you relapsed, okay? And it made you feel bad that you relapsed. And so then you stayed there, okay? Relapse is a part of um, healing and growing as a recovering addict. It's part of it. It does happen.
Yeah.
It's a matter of what you do when you do relapse. Do you continue or do you stop and use your tools and go from there? Don't beat yourself up about it. Okay, yeah, it happened and go on. But
The
what you
biggest
did,
thing that I'm sick of is making excuses
the
and
lies, it's the lies.
blame shifting blame.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so transparent. And if you know the behaviors of an addict, I know you do. You see right through
Oh,
them.
you can see it a mile. I can see it a mile away. I can see it, and a lot of times I don't
Mhm.
say nothing. I let them go. You can't. I
Yeah.
just let it go because I've seen myself time and time again. Talking like pointing things out when it comes to addicts on the internet because it really, really pisses me off. Addicts on the internet piss me off. Oh, they
I
piss me off.
understand. But
Um,
back to what we were talking
oh yeah.
about is that there is help for people. And just like Cracking Ass has just said, she's like, and to anyone who is trying, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, as long as you keep brushing yourself off and try again.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
is the most important thing. Um, you rang, there's a lot to look for. Them constant, I mean, like whenever we first started, it was, all the excuses and always needing this and always needing that. And, they're losing
Like
their
it was.
job. They're not
It
taking
was.
care of themselves.
It's like somebody you're looking at and you're like, holy smokes, their life is
Who
so
is
full
that?
of drama. Well,
Mhm.
oh, their life is so full of drama. How is it possible that like every time something's going on, like they're behind on their bills, they're behind, they can't pay their bills, their husband didn't get their check, uh, uh, my net bank was in the negative, and I had to repay it, so I couldn't get my water paid. I mean, just everything. We're going to Virginia. We're gonna get pack up our and leave the van life. Come on, come on.
A lot of times they lie to themselves.
They got on
You
high
trying
on
to
a
con
live stream talking about Dawn being high. Come on, you know.
um, mm-mm. It's really, it's really hard to see someone that you have known, what, 2 years now? Almost 2 years, and you see them, and you see the decline, and it is you see it.
The thing about it
It's
is it affects the subscribers just, and it affects. I know it's in a different way from the addict, but the subscribers have to see it, and they have to go through this when they form a relationship with you, and they go to all your lives because you entertain them, and this hurts them just as much as it hurts everybody else. Because when you're close, you get close to these creators on here and the subs on here. You do,
Yeah,
and when things like that happen, it's devastating, and you want so much better for them.
yeah, well, you expect better. You have more respect for them than they do themselves, and
When
it's
they're a
hurt it
creator,
hurts.
yeah, you're a creator. That they're like, hey, they're your creator, and and you have a certain way that you need to present yourself as a creator, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we're all human. We all make mistakes. I am not perfect. I'm addicted to food, cigarettes, and caffeine. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, this is
Hmm.
actually tea, though. This isn't coffee. This is decaf tea, actually, because
Hmm.
I'm trying to do better. But I have addictions. But they're not the same. They're legal, which makes them even harder to kick because I have to have food to survive. I can't, if I stop eating, I die. And it's an everyday battle. I've never been on drugs, I've never been on alcohol, so I don't know what that aspect of life is about, but I do know what it's like to have withdrawals from nicotine. I had the worst headache this morning because I hadn't had coffee in 24 hours, so I can't imagine what it's like to be on something that's really hard, and again, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you because you weren't just on one thing, you were kicking some stuffs, you know? And I'm proud of you for that, and I know that it can be done.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Duchess,
You rank says
what you got?
I always want better for everyone, and I try living like that too. And there's some of them, man. I mean, even the laws cows on the internet, I don't want them to be like that. The rest of they're ruining their life over YouTube. You know, it's horrible.
Yeah. So if you had anything that you was like, say someone's listening on replay that is an active addiction, what is your advice to them?
Uh, I don't know, man. It ain't gonna work. It's what in the heck is that? Hang on. My advice to you is it's not gonna work unless you work at it. Anything that you want in this life that's gonna mean something to you, you got to work at. And if you don't want it, you're not gonna get it. It's gonna be scary. It's not gonna be comfortable. And if it's not comfortable, then that's what you want. If you're comfortable, you don't want that. You got to be uncomfortable to grow. Um, and when you go to do something, listen, you're good. It's like it was for me. What it was is once I got into a place where I was away from everything, and I was there just to concentrate on me, not on my work, not on anybody's school, not on anybody else's work, not on nothing, and got away from my family and into an inpatient treatment center where they had counselors, they had AA meetings, they had all the things, classes, yes, classes. You go there, you work on yourself, and all that money that the insurance and everything else has to take care of, it's well worth it. Then you get healed and you work at it, and it can be done, but you're only gonna make excuses. Keep making excuses. You're not gonna get anywhere. So just get it
What
done.
if there
Just get
is
it
a
done.
family member of an addict listening? What is something that you'd want them to know from being, a recovering addict? What is something that you want the family members to hear from someone who was once upon a time? in that situation.
Get your as soon as you even have an idea that they're doing drugs, get them in counseling. Get them a therapist. Go see a psychologist. Whatever. Get it. It
An
needs to get out.
intervention.
Yes, it needs to
Mm,
get out. It needs to get out. Truth needs to be told. Hand them journals. Give them tools that they can help them along the way. Open
yeah,
communication is the best thing. Getting all the
yeah.
things out is the best thing, and try not to judge them when they tell you.
Yes, that is so important because it takes a lot of courage for someone to admit to someone, "Look, I have a problem. I need help. I can't do this alone." There doesn't need to be any judgment. There needs to be open arms, compassion, and understanding, and most importantly, support.
As soon as an
You need
addict feels
support.
that, as soon as an addict feels that, and they feel like they're safe, that's
Mhm.
when the healing will begin. The walls have to be broken down before an addict will open up to you.
Well,
And that's
thank you
not,
for that.
the walls are not going to be, but the judgment. The judgment card is a big one because we always get judged.
Yeah, it's a stigma, most definitely.
Yeah.
I know. Is there anyone in chat that, has anything to add? Please do. Yes, you have to be blunt. Oh,
You
it just
know,
says, "Yep, you have to be blunt."
you
Crack a
have to
massive
be
joke
blunt.
in
See,
case
I'm the
is
bluntest.
Javon.
I'm a blunt person, ask
Mhm.
Annabella. I'm a blunt person.
She is.
Very blunt. A friend of mine sent a mat, one of those walk-in mats, and it says, "I'm." What does it say? I'm not blunt. I forget what it said. Some real smart ass comment, but anyway, you know me.
Can't
So
imagine.
I get to spend my husband is going to stay here probably till after Christmas. So
Oh, wow.
I think God did this for a reason. I think God did
Mhm.
this to make him slow down and to make him slow down. Well, no, actually, God didn't do this. It just happened because it just happened. We have evil in this world, and we have all this on the world because Eve ate the apple. Okay, that's why we have all this.
Okay.
Eating apple bitches. That's what my husband calls us. Eating apple bitches. That's what he calls us. So, but he is going to be able to stay home, and so it's going to slow him down, and he can spend some time with us because I don't know if I don't know if he's going to be here. When he gets better, I think he may just go back to work. I don't know. Um, that's up to him. Whatever he decides, I'm behind him 110%. So that's the only thing I can do for him. You know, but I
Susie
get to,
says, "Numerous rehabs for my daughter, and I always told her when she felt weak, all things are possible through Christ who strengthens me."
that is true, and they do teach us that at rehab as well.
Mhm. Romans 6 speaks about it. Romans 6, it says that sin is not my master and will not be brought under any power of anything. Like, I will not be brought under the power of anything because sin is not my master. It's talking about anything having control over you that's not good for you, which could be for anything. But it's all through the
Mm-hmm.
Bible. If you ever go to, a facility, that's gonna be one of your tools,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not.
Yeah, whether now
One of the most
listen, they will
important ones.
and they will tell you in rehab or wherever you go that your higher power is. Okay, some people don't believe in the same thing we believe in. So whoever your higher power is. Um mine is, Lord Jesus Christ. That's mine. But some people are not, And that's where we
Different.
put religion and when you put AA together, that's always a big thing. They try not to um intertwine, you know what I mean? But they do. But I think it's the older way. That's the older way, and now there's a newer way. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
Before Alcoholic and Anonymous, they were secretive, because you didn't want everybody to know that you're an alcoholic because I was your doctor. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Mhm.
So they didn't want anybody to know, and everybody was secret. Um, Anonymous. But now with the newer generation, people like to tell people that they were an addict and what they went through because they're proud of themselves, you know?
Mhm.
And
People
so,
need to hear these stories because you don't hear about 'em.
and that's
Uh,
what
the
AA
y
does. You tell your story. So why not share it with the world? I don't, you know?
Yeah. it's something that doesn't get talked about much. Like I said, it's something that people don't want to talk about. It's swept under the rug, or it's ignored, or just we're going to make an excuse. You know, it needs to be discussed. People need to hear these stories because there's someone out there right now, Dino, that is going through it bad, and they just need to know it's possible. And there are two people, you and Farm, that can say that they have been sober for 4 years, 4.5 years for Farm, almost four for you. There's somebody who just wants to be 4 minutes sober. There is a beginning somewhere.
Yep.
And hearing stories like this gives someone hope.
Yep.
It's true.
It's true. You can do it. There's many of us that have done it. And there's many more that are going to do it. You gotta want it. You just gotta want it.
You gotta want it.
Gotta
You gotta want it.
Hey, lie to yourself at first. Go ahead. That works too. Believe it or not. If you lie to yourself enough, you're gonna believe it, right? That's how they pass lie detector tests. And another, I've noticed with no, that's a whole different subject, but the DNC situation, they be telling stories, a story that is the truth. Like, say, we went swimming at the swim hole on June 15th. Okay, yeah, she's saying we went swimming on the swim hole on June 15th. Wait, just give me a minute. June 15th, but actually it was like 2 days before. So you're really kind of telling the truth. You know what I mean? You're not really lying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they pass that thing. But anyway, sorry.
Funny Face says, I need to hear a success story of someone with mental illness and drug addiction. Well, drug addiction is a mental illness.
I have a mental illness. I'm bipolar and bipolar, majorly bipolar. I think it was my mental illness that actually got me to be an addict. Is what drove me to be an addict. I couldn't stop my brain. It just wouldn't stop. It still doesn't stop. Trust me. But I'm not on drugs. That's why it doesn't stop.
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah, it usually goes hand in hand. One thing goes undiagnosed.
It stopped when I was on them drugs.
Well, you were self-medicating the wrong way instead of getting,
Yep,
professional help. And that's what anybody that's listening.
Never followed through.
But anybody who's listening that has these struggles, it is okay.
It's normal
to admit there's a problem. It is okay to get help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. There's a lot wrong with not getting help.
Yep.
Save yourself a lot of sorrow and your family.
Show them that you can do it. Okay, so what? You're showing them that you're an addict right now. Big deal. Okay, and so what? It's over. Show them that you can do it now. And show them that there's a fight and this is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Susie's daughter is bipolar and she was addicted and she's almost 3 years clean. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
That's great. That is awesome. That is great.
Our God is an awesome God. I don't sing very well. I need Nico, but see, she's always sleeping.
She's we divorced. I divorced her earlier. Well, actually, I told her
I got Nico with me. I got her with me. She's always with me.
I got mine.
I have mine, but I thought I don't know where it went though. Oh, there it is. I see it.
Duchess, did you want to come up? Did you have anything to add?
Hey, my phone's gonna die, y'all. I love y'all. I need to step down. I just got home from work. I need to eat something. I'm hungry, and my husband wants to come back to bed with me.
Well, I love you too. Thank you so much for your story and your time.
Okay,
I appreciate
thank you. I love you.
Right,
bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Maybe.
She's such a funny little thing.
Kick me, because it won't do it.
Oh, okay. Kick. Bye. I hate kicking her. That makes me feel bad. Okay. Well, if anybody doesn't have anything to add, I guess I'm gonna end, but I do want anyone out there to know that there is purpose behind the pain that you're going through. If you're a relative or if you're an addict, there is a purpose for everything. That's all I have, I guess. Okay. I've dropped my link, but I guess that's all I have for tonight. I hope it helps someone. I really do hope it helps someone to know that you're not alone. There are so many success stories that I've just read during this 50 minutes, and you could be one too. I know that we grow to love people and then we see things that we don't always like. That doesn't mean that we have to give up on them. We can always want them to do better. We can always pray for them to get the help that they need, especially when it has children involved, because the children are the real victims in this. They don't have a choice. Whenever they were brought into this world, they didn't get to choose who their mama and daddy were. I'm pretty sure a lot of the times they wouldn't have chosen the parents they had once they ended up in a certain situation. The children are victims. The families of an addict are victims. If you love your family, if you love your children, don't allow that to happen to them. Get the help you need, and it is okay. It is absolutely okay. And if you haven't heard it today, I believe in you and I care about you and I want you to be okay. So I guess that's all I have, you guys. I appreciate you all coming by and seeing me. It was so good to see y'all, all my honeys. But anyway, you guys have a good night. Take care of yourself. Stay warm. It is so cold here in Tennessee. Oh my gosh. I don't know where you guys are, but it's cold here. So stay warm and take care of yourself. Look out for yourself. Love yourself a little bit harder when the days are tough. It's okay to have bad days. It's not okay to stay there. I love you too, Kraken. Okay, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.